You are listening to The Michael Lodge Show. Wealth, business, and taxes. Oh, yeah, and some politics. Let's get started.
And it's another Monday, can you believe it? We're back to a day that begins the whole week. So what do you got planned? I got so much on my table this week. I've got a whole bunch of heavy-duty mediations. I've got tax clients wanting information. So I'm busy this week, and I like being busy. But I don't know if it's that I'm getting older or because of COVID and we had that lockdown for so long. In the afternoons, I feel like I need a nap. I don't know what it is, but ever since lockdown, and we've been really just kind of moseying along. During the lockdown, I always took a nap in the afternoon. Now I think I need a nap every day, but I don't take one. But I feel like I need it. I feel like I need to just lay down and snore. And I know how to snore very well. I can defeat nations with my snore. That's how bad it is. Listen, today we're talking about Gavin Newsom. And it's that subject that we have to talk about because he has done so much damage to the state of California. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I was born in California. I love California. I was born there. I was an adoptive child in California. And that is my home. That is what I call home. And I've lived there the majority of my life, except for the stint that I lived up in the state of Washington and went to school in Walla Walla. And I did live a little bit in South Carolina and Arizona. So I've lived around in the later part of my life here. But California has always been home, and I'm going to fight for California businesses because they're small, they're good. They're trying to survive, but they are being damaged heavily by a governor who decided that his magical theories would solve COVID. And nothing that he has done has defeated COVID. Nothing. But what it has done, it has literally destroyed small businesses, restaurants that have not been able to survive. It's a terrible thing when a governor thinks he has so much power that he can override even the legislature, that he can override the Constitution. Just this last week on Friday, in fact on Friday afternoon, the Supreme Court came back and said, no, I'm sorry, but you have to open your churches. You don't have the authority to close your churches. You can limit them, and so you can bring them in at 25% capacity, which is okay, that's fine. Because I'm sure the pastors and priests will do a little bit more to help their parishioners by offering more services throughout the day or even throughout the week if they need to. But the Supreme Court of the United States said, Gavin Newsom, you're wrong. And he has won he has lost several court battles regarding his authority. And the problem is that he continues to dictate his authority on the people of California. And they've had it. Businesses cannot open up fully, and they need to open up fully. Do you know how you create jobs and how do you create a tax roll within your state and in your cities is by opening up businesses. That's how you generate sales and use tax. That's how you generate property taxes. That's how you generate business taxes and all kinds of different taxes. But they shut them completely down. Businesses were not able to fulfill the obligations to their employees because Governor Newsom decided that he was the law. Nothing scientific about what he did because he locked everybody down. COVID raised. It rose up. They had the highest amount of COVID, had the highest amount of deaths in that city. And the reason why is because if you have everybody locked down, you've got that same environment, that same contamination within that lockdown structure. No fresh air, no nothing. not being able to think logically and reasonably, not able to go out and live a life. So he said, you know what, I'll lock everybody down. They won't mind it. I'm the governor. I have that power. The problem is he did so much damage, not just to small businesses and businesses all over the state of California as they pack up and leave the state, but he did a lot of damage to mental health, drug use, suicides, closing down the churches, and the list goes on. That kind of damage that any one individual can do based upon what he thinks is law. And he quotes that this is scientific, but he shows no proof of what his scientific data is, because his data within California is corrupted. And what has happened is it's become corrupted by politics. And that is the problem. Once you have a government involved in healthcare within a state or within a nation, the information that you're getting out of there is corrupted because it becomes political. It is driven by a political agenda. And then pretty soon, the healthcare organization becomes corrupt in their business operations because politics has flown in to their organization. So what Gavin Newsom has done is a travesty. I mean, it really is. I mean, if you and what really worries me most of all is that President Biden wants to copy what Gavin Newsom has done. What would that do to a nation? It would completely destroy a nation. So, listen, if you haven't signed the recall petition, they're almost there where they can recall him. Put it up for a vote. They're almost there. So if you have not signed that, if you're in California and if you're listening to me, this message is going out specifically to you to touch your heart, to touch your mind, to do what is right and recall Governor Newsom. It's time. It's time to send a message to the Democrats that if you're going to operate this way and destroy a state, it's time for that individual to go, and for all politicians who act in the same manner. Once you get done with Gavin Newsom, you need to start working on your state legislatures because they are as corrupt as the governor. So I encourage each and every single one of you, if you live in California, I wish I could sign it, but I am no longer in California. I am a California refugee out here in Florida, but I love Florida. But I'm a California refugee because that was where I was born, in Vista, California. And I love California. But I do not like the politics that destroys individual lives in a big and beautiful state. We have the ability, you have the ability, I should say, in California to make changes in your state for the better. Remove an individual who has done damage to your life and damage to your community, damage to your school, damage to your church, damage to your business, damage to your family, damage to your mental health. We have to get rid of these kinds of people. Because now it's an ethics that you have to choose as a Californian. Sorry, I had to put you on mute there because I tell you, I'm fighting this cold. Here in Florida, we have had severe degrees of weather. We have had down into the 40s, and then up into the 80s, and then back down into the 40s, and then into the 60s, and then back up into the 80s, and then I just went outside, and it was kind of chilly out. But I know by looking at the weather report that we're going to be up in the high 70s today. So this change of weather has affected my vocal cords. So that's my fault, though, because I shouldn't been so gutsy and go out in the cold 40-degree weather without a coat and a jacket. That's my fault. So let's get back to Gavin. It's time to recall him. It's time to send him packing. Now, what's going to be bad about that? Probably Biden will come along and say, "Hey, why don't you fill a secretary's job? I'll come over here and become Secretary of the Interior, Secretary of something." Biden will probably give him a job. But at least he's away from California and can no longer do damage in California. Now, you have some elections coming up in 2022 on a Senate seat there that also needs to be replaced. Because the guy that's filled it right now is ridiculous. He's in there as a temp because of Harris becoming vice president, but he needs to be removed. I can't even remember what his name is. I can picture his face in my mind because he also has done so much damage to the state of California. He's right up there with Gavin Newsom. But it's time for a change, and California needs that change. They need a positive change. Now, who's going to be that voice? Now, there is this guy out there that the young people really like because he came from Facebook as an executive, and he's out there. But if you listen to what he's saying, they're mostly, he says he's a Republican, but he is far left. Free education, healthcare, all that sort of stuff. So I don't think he's the right choice because he will push the same agenda as what the Democrats have been pushing there and who have been causing so much issues within the state. California needs a better change. They need a new voice, but not that voice. They need a voice that's going to come and literally change California from top down. There is so much work that needs to be done within the various organizations. EDD is so out of control at the moment that you don't know exactly what they're doing. So, California needs a lot of work. Department of Motor Vehicles needs work. EDD needs work. Franchise Tax Board needs work. All the other government agencies, the Department of Transportation there needs work. Because they've gone way out of control, because they have become not work-based, but they've become politically based. And that has done too much damage to the Californians. Because nothing's getting done. All that money on gas tax isn't going to help the roads. It's going to help fund other stuff that is worthless. So they're out of control with their spending. They're out of control with their agenda for California, because what they're trying to do is turn it into a pure union state and a socialist state, and it's destroying the lifestyles of Californians. Ethically, the state of California is not even ethical anymore. They are doing so much to damage the state of California that it's going to take a while for someone to come in and clean house. And that's what needs to happen in California, is that they need to come in and they need to clean house. Because there's too much corruption going on. And it starts from the governor's office, through the AG's office, all the way down through the legislature and all the way down to the lower levels. It needs cleaning. Badly. So I encourage you, if you're going to go out today, sit down at your computer, pull up the search on Google for the Recall Gavin Newsom program and download the form that you need to fill out and send in. We need your signatures very, very badly. We need your signatures very badly. We need to recall Gavin Newsom. It's my home state. I love California. I love that drive up to 101. From Los Angeles all the way up to San Francisco. It's a beautiful drive. If you've never done it, that's a road trip you got to do. I love road trips. California offers so many good road trips. There is so much in California that makes it so good, from the ocean to the cliffs of the ocean, up to the mountains where there's snow, out to the deserts where it's sunny and bright. There is so much to do. in California. But unfortunately, everything right now is shut down and being destroyed. Recall Gavin Newsom. That's what you need to do. It's truly what you need to do. It's good for California, it's good for your communities, and it's good for the state to get cleaned up. Listen, if you want to send me a message, you can send it through text at 818-252-5682. Again, that's 818-252-5682. Or send it to my email at info at lodge-co.com. Or go to my website at www.lodge-co.com. Let's go out and have a great day. This is Mike Lodge. This podcast has been produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content. If you would like to support my content and the work that I do, go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Michael Lodge, Lodge. Talk with you soon. God bless.